Okay, we are going live. It's a couple minutes before showtime, a couple minutes before the official start time. Let me see if I can pull this up on the iPad and see what we have. Okay, yes, it does look like we're live. And the lovely Brianna says hi all. The lovely Brianna, she was in early, so let me know if you're still in there. Let me know if the audio sounds good. And let me check in my headphones real quick. Testing 1, 2. Sounds good in the headphones. And let's see. Carlos is in the house. How does that audio sound to you, Carlos? And we will get ready to get started here in a moment. We're going to talk a little bit about the event that Steve hosted. Steve sponsored last night, and the video that they put up. I'm going to play a little bit of that video. It's pretty cool, pretty impressive. Kyle's in the house. He says, "Hey guys, let me know. Give me an audio check when you guys get a chance." And the 231 Stunner's on the bench, and the 002 is on wrist. The 002 is on wrist. And that's how that works. And I got back not too long ago from Bethesda. I went down to have the phone serviced on my phone, but sounds good to me. Okay, audio's fine, says Carlos. I went down to the Apple store and they replaced the battery in my phone, my actual phone. They didn't exchange it out. And it came out great. It's perfect. It's like new again. And I got another 3 years worth of battery life probably. So I'm probably going to keep the iPhone 10 indefinitely. I really like the iPhone 10. Perfect size for me. Works great. Very snappy. Stunning looking. It's a stunner. So there you go. We're going to start in about 4 minutes with the official show. This is the pregame show, folks. In case you want to skip forward to the actual show. You'll skip forward about, let's see, it's coming up on 4:56 and a half, about 3.5 minutes, something like that. And give folks a couple moments to get in. And I don't know if Brianna's still in there or not, still in the chat. She was in at 4:52 p.m. She said, hi all. Blue is in the house. He says, stunner. Okay. And so, Blue, what do you say? How does the audio sound to you on your end? By the way, I'm wearing a Gitman Brothers shirt. This one is a 15.5 33 size, and so it's a little bit wee. The cuffs are even tighter than normal. I can still put this watch under the cuff, but in this case, I choose to wear it outside the cuff because this one's a little bit smaller. And the neat thing about the 002 is it's versatile enough that you can do that. You can wear it literally either on the bone or below the bone. And it's still comfortable. It's really the first watch I've had that I can say that about. That really any position on the wrist, it is comfortable. It's a non-issue. Try doing that with a big sport watch and see how that feels on your wrist after a little while. Pre-game show, audio is strong, says Blue. Okay, and Carlos says, I had my iPad replaced 2 days ago under Apple Care. It had charging issues. Okay. Good move. You got a new one, basically. Got a new lease on life. Oh, where's my H2O? I got to go get my H2O. I have to have my H2O. So stand by for a moment. Can't do the show without the H2O. All right. By the way, this thing has an equalizer, it has limiters, it has compressors, it has all kinds of stuff for the audio that I have not played with yet. So we'll try. We might play around with some of that at some point. Okay. We're coming up on right about a minute to showtime. Almost a minute, a little over a minute to showtime. And what we'll do is we'll do the official start right on time. And we're going to talk about this video. J World Thursday Night Racing. and this video that they made up, really, it's kind of cool. Kind of cool. And I did put a link in the description so you can watch the rest of it, because I'm going to play a little bit of it, and then you can watch the rest of it at your leisure. Coming up on 5 o'clock, we're going to do it. We're going to do it right at 5. Turn the volume down a little bit on these headphones. A little bit strong. And we're about 25 seconds or so to launch time. 20 seconds. For those of you that are coordinating, there is a delay, so it isn't going to help you any. All right, we're going to do the official start here. And this is the video, not all of it, but we'll play part of it. Stand by.
All right, up there, everybody. It is the last J-World Thursday night race, which T2P is here to film. I'm Ashley Love, our producer. Joining us from behind the camera this evening, Bruce Nairn. And we are joined tonight by one of the sponsors who's making all of this video coverage possible for the whole...
Wait, it's showing... It's not showing the right thing. Why is it not showing the video in question? See, it's showing the desktop on camera 4. That does not make any sense. Let me play around with this. How did that happen? That's not good. That's a total fail. Let me see if I can fix this. How do I fix this? Quit this. It should be feeding the desktop of the computer. Why are you seeing that? Why are you seeing the background image? This is a total freaking fail. It worked yesterday. This is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem if I can't figure this out. Why would that be feeding that? Let me unplug it and then plug it back in and see what happens. Same thing. It's feeding the desktop over and not what I want to show. It's showing the background image from the desktop. Why would it be doing that? Camera 4. On. Off. On. That is not going to work. This is perplexing. I guess I restart the computer and see what happens. I guess I have to restart. Okay, you guys chat with each other. I'm going to restart the computer and see if that helps us at all. I think it did that when I went to full screen. I think it was showing part of it, and then I think it screwed up when I went to full screen. Let me know what you guys saw on your end. Did you see... Might have to abort the whole thing. Did you guys see the YouTube video and then it screwed up when I tried to go to full screen? Maybe you have to duplicate screen instead of extended desktop. Good point. Yeah, good point, Carlos. I'll check that next. I'll go into my settings and check that next. But I don't know why it unilaterally changed that, because it was showing the correct thing. That's a good point, though, Carlos. Thank you very much for that. Let me bring this up. Why it chose to screw up just unilaterally. Okay, I'm going to go into the settings and check the desktop settings. System preferences. And displays. Display, okay. Resolution, default, brightness, arrangement. Oh, mirror displays. Yeah, okay. Why did it go away from that? I don't understand. I didn't change any settings. Hopefully this will solve the problem. Okay, yeah, I've got it right now. And here we go. Here's the video in question. I'm going to go full screen with this puppy. There's the Little Treasury logo.
All right, up there, everybody. It is the last J-World Thursday night race, which T2P is here to film. I'm Ashley Love, our producer, joining us
Now it's spooling.
behind the camera this evening, Bruce Nairn, and we are joined tonight by one of the sponsors who is making all of this video coverage possible for the whole summer. Steve, tell us about Little Treasury and why you're here tonight.
Okay, well, Little Treasury is a all-purpose jewelry store in Crofton, Maryland. We sell watches, bridal, do all kinds of repair, very friendly. We actually sell watches and jewelry all over the country, both online and by phone, as well as our walk-in customers. We've been around for about 20 years and hope for many more.
Yes, I've been to your store. It's just gorgeous. It was hard not to just want to dive into all the beautiful things you have.
We encourage diving, actually.
Yes, you have a lot of dive watches and watches that are great for sailors. What are you wearing? What are you wearing here?
It's a ball watch. It's called the Engineer Hydrocarbon, and it is extremely rugged. I've had it for a good while. And
Looks brand new.
It looks brand new.
Yeah.
It's rugged and stands up to a lot of abuse, which I give it from time to time, like being out on the boat here.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to start with the symmetrical boats, which are the J22s and the J24s.
All right, that is cool stuff, right? Absolutely cool stuff. So pause that. And the link is in the chat so that you can check it all out. You can check it all out. The link is in the chat and watch it in high quality. One thing I do have to be careful about is the bandwidth here. You know, when I'm streaming down and streaming up and so forth, I might have to back this down to a slightly lower bit rate. I'm at about 6.0, and then it fluctuates megabits per second. And let's see, nice, super fun boats. Yeah, they do a lot of racing in Annapolis, and hopefully Brianna can get involved in that scene sometime too. They have, I asked her about it, and they have sailing like multiple nights a week, not just Thursday nights. I think my brother-in-law, the one that he was participating in, was on Wednesday nights. So they have different groups that get together, and they have these races. And she was saying that I guess some of the classes, they have to be duplicate boats, have to be the same boat. I thought they just had to be a certain length or whatever, but I think some of those, they're actually racing the same exact boat so that nobody has an advantage. Imagine having to go out and buy a boat just to race, a special boat, right? I guess if you've got some scratch, right? And it probably makes sense that Steve is advertising to these folks. They've got some expendable money. I wonder who owns that boat there. Tribal Pleasures. There you go, Tribal Pleasures. All right. Okay, so let me get everything set up here and make sure that I'm good to go for Skype, because I think the lovely Brianna might be Skyping in. And of course we have, we always have technical issues to sort out here with live TV. That's just the way it goes, especially when we're using all new equipment. But we do have Skype operational, so that's a plus. It's an absolute plus. And Deport TGV says the women love sailboats. The women love people with money, and a lot of times people with money have sailboats. That's how that works. That's how that works. They love big power boats too. The bigger, the better. By the way, what was it that I was thinking? Oh, the watches. Okay, so I went down to Montgomery Mall, and I'm wandering around. I had an hour to kill because it took them about an hour to fix the phone. So I went to the Rolex AD there in Montgomery Mall, and they had a few watches. None of the hard to get sport models, but they had a few models in there. They did have a Yachtmaster that was steel and gold, but it was rose gold. So, but anyway, they had one. It looked good. The case is beautiful on those and so on. And I commented on it. I said, it looks very nice. But I'll tell you, I really, not this one. I've gotten spoiled by the size and the legibility of this watch, the 231 on wrist, because looking at those other watches, none of them, I looked at the Omegas, they're also an Omega AD. None of them could touch that 231 as far as legibility goes. None of them. None of them even came close. Those hands on the 231 are super legible at any angle and any light. And so I've really gotten spoiled, and I'll tell you that 44 mil size, when you look at a 40 mil watch, it really does look small now. It's pretty amazing, the difference. Now, obviously, if you're going to wear the watch as an all-arounder, then you want the smaller watch, right? Then, like, for example, a 40 mil Yachtmaster would be perfect. But I'll tell you, it doesn't have anywhere near the presence of that 231. Nowhere near the presence. It really doesn't. And I guess it's like once you've worn it's either 43 or 44 mils. I forget what the official size is on the 231. But once you've worn that watch for a while and gotten used to that size, it might be hard to go back down to a 40 mil sport watch. It might be hard. And see, the advantage to this 002 is the dial is huge on this thing. The dial's about the same size on this as it is on that 231, just because, the bezel's so small. So take a look at that. So I might have the best 2-watch rotation ever conceived and created by man. It might be the absolute best. I even looked at some 36 mil Datejusts, and I love a 36 mil Datejust, but I don't know if I could go back to that size. This 38.5 mil dress watch is just really spoils you. It's so easy to look at and read, and it's got some presence to it. I might be doing some recalculating here. I might be rethinking some things. What do you guys think about all that? Okay, let's see. In fact, it's not the ultra expensive hobby with that kind of boat. Well, yeah, but it's not cheap either. I know in Annapolis, just docking the thing ain't cheap. And upkeep on those boats isn't cheap either. It's not for the thrift oriented. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I mean, it's not like a 50-footer. You step up to a 50-footer, and you're talking real money. Craig, were the Rolex salespeople in all of your GS's build quality and accuracy? I'll put it this way. When I walked in there, I was just wearing a decent shirt, not this shirt, but a decent shirt. I was wearing my Bill's khakis with a very expensive belt and, very nice shoes. And he definitely treated me very nicely, with a lot of respect. And I'll tell you, they did at the Apple store too. They got me right in. Oh, yes, Mr. Shipp, I see you have an appointment, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they really treated me right. I think it pays to dress nice. I definitely think it does, because a lot of people around there were dressed like total bums. I mean, just not impressive at all. And also, I wandered around. I poked my head in a few stores, like the Johnson and Murphy store. There's still a Johnson and Murphy, and I asked her, "Do you have any of your shoes made in the USA anymore?" She said, "No. Some are made in Italy, some are made in Mexico, different places, Spain." But she said, "No, we don't have any made in the USA." And I poked my head into a few places. The Coach store, their stuff has gone way downhill. A lot of stuff. There was almost nothing in that mall, with the exception of maybe a Rolex or an Omega at the Rolex dealer. There was almost nothing at that mall that I would have wanted to purchase in the whole freaking mall. And this is in Bethesda, Maryland. This is, a very affluent area. And it's just, all of these stores are selling a bunch of junk these days. And some of it they're trying to masquerade as quality. And it's not that. So there's a lot of junk. By the way, they might be bulldozing that place. There was a thing. Sears was one of the anchors, right? And it's closed. And there's a big mural there, and the sign saying we're reimagining the mall, right? And they had almost like a big, huge site plan of what they're going to do, and it looks like they're going to have a lot of outdoor areas, and they're going to have residential in there. They're going to have a mix of residential and commercial shops and residences and so on, and it looks really nice. The concept looks really nice, but it looks like to me, to do what they're talking about doing, they're going to have to level the whole damn thing, and that thing's a huge mall. I mean, I can't imagine just the cost of just demolishing and removing that has got to be astronomical. So maybe somebody can Google, what are they planning on doing with Montgomery Mall? It's called Montgomery Mall in Bethesda, Maryland. Maybe somebody can Google that live on the show and let us know what they're going to do. Are they going to level it? Why did you go to Rolex, Craig? Well, I was just wandering around the mall, killing an hour of time, and I wandered through the food court. I was tempted to get some Chipotle food, but I fought off the urge, and tempted by a few other things in the food court. And then I just kept wandering around the whole mall literally for an hour, and I walk fast, right? So I can basically cover the whole mall in an hour. It's a big mall. And so I walked past the AD, the Rolex AD. So I poked my head in. I wanted to see what they had. But they didn't have a whole lot. They had some nice pieces there, though. Some nice Datejusts. There were a couple of nice ladies' watches there that if Brianna were with me, there were a couple of them that she might have liked. Let's see. I was getting my iPad screen replaced today, and there were two people ahead of me dressed like slobs, and the girl walked by them and said, "How can I help you, sir?" That's great. That's great. That's terrible, though. That's the real world. I absolutely believe you, Jaden. Let's see. The Port TGV's announced Craig clones are a failed experiment at Carlos. Chip Wong says he can't afford to provide them with the Gitman, Brooks Brothers, Churches, and Lucchese wardrobes they demand. Yeah, especially the Lucchese, if he gets like crocodile boots or like ostrich custom grade, I think, that could get a little costly. Jaden, did you date her after work? Leon says, have not been to Bethesda or Montgomery County in a while. As a person that lives in Howard County It's hard to see how Montgomery County was ever considered wealthy. It's a dump. It's still a lot of very high net worth individuals in Chevy Chase, Maryland, and in Potomac, and in Bethesda. There's still some very high dollar areas. But yeah, there's always been some questionable areas like Wheaton, Aspen Hill, parts of Rockville, of course Gaithersburg. There's always been areas that were not so much, right? But you go out River Road and see some of those homes that are like, look like they could be a private school with like a 20-acre front lawn. Some of those places are pricey, to say the least. There was a place that the Kennedys used to summer at that was on the Potomac River. You went out River Road and you drove through the gatehouse, and then you drove down this long winding road to the mansion back there that had a view of the river that was out of this world. That place was amazing. I think it's still there, but they cut up the property and put a bunch of houses in there. I forget the name of it, but it's off of River Road. If you Google it was the home that the Kennedys used to summer at off of River Road. That estate was unreal. I went there before they broke it up, before they developed it. That mansion was amazing. So yeah, there were some places back in there. Let's see. Evening all. Off to demolish a bottle of Spanish Ribera. Okay. Brianna will be able to pronounce that properly. Let's see. I can Skype in soon. Okay, very good. Save the show. Absolutely save the show. The Port TGV 2020. How's it? Okay. Let's see. Don't forget Tacoma Park. Yeah, parts of Tacoma Park are in Montgomery County. It's right at the border of Prince George's. There were some nice houses in some areas of Tacoma Park. But yeah, it's probably all gone to you-know-what by now because it's right there bordering Prince George's. So it's probably pretty marginal at this point. So, yeah. And of course, the Durwood Estate is right near Kenwood Country Club. Kenwood Country Club's down in Bethesda, but it's right near Needwood Country Club there, right across from the country club. And we've got 2 acres there. So that's rare to have. There's only about a dozen or so houses with acreage that are that close to the metro. It's very close to the Shady Grove Metro. So that's what makes that property valuable, is because, again, supply and demand, there are very few homes near the metro. If you want to be near the metro, right? Very few homes that have acreage that are near the metro, like maybe a dozen, period, full stop, in the entire county. So that's what helps that place. Oh, a new teaser. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, but that's... Okay, so that just went on to the next video. Okay, so what do you guys gather from that teaser? What do you all gather from that? Tell me what you think. What do you think? Oh, here's a Stetson. Carlos sent this in. I guess he's saying those are Stetsons, or some of them are Stetsons. Okay. Were they an actual Stetson dealer? Interesting. Okay, let's see. Hey, Craig, can you get me a GMT Master 2 Pepsi at your AD? I'm supposedly on the list, and they haven't called me to tell me that come pick it up. So I'll let you know. If they call me, I'll probably pick it up, and I'll probably let anybody on the channel that wants to buy it can buy it, because I don't want it. I already called more than 100 ADs worldwide, but wasn't successful. Yeah, I don't think calling them is going to work. I think you've got to go in and have the money with you. And by the way, the guy in Montgomery Mall today, he implied that he had other watches that were not in the case. Because I specifically asked him, I said, well, do you have any of the sport models, the steel sport models, like Sub or GMT, that sort of thing, right? And he said, well, what exactly do you want, right? And so I was just curious, right? I mean, he definitely implied that if I would have said, I want a no-date Sub, right, I think he would have probably gone in the back and gotten it, I think he has some watches that, I think that's the game they play. I think they size you up, and if they think you're for real, and they want you as a customer, they go in the back and they get the watch. I think that's how that whole thing works. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Let's see. I've sent you a photo of a store in Madrid, plenty of Stetson hats. I was surprised when I saw it. There you go. Craig, would you rather have a new Rolex Pepsi or a spring drive GMT? They do make a spring drive GMT that's titanium, I believe. I think they still make that. That I would go for. So that's like the sister, a cousin to the 231. It's very similar to that watch, but it's a GMT and it's titanium. That would be absolutely, I would go for that. But I don't think I would go for a steel spring drive GMT over a Pepsi. But no, the titanium I think I would go for. An ugly blue dial Rolex Sub. Okay. Well, if they come out with a blue dial Rolex Sub with a blue bezel and they fix the case, they fix the super case, I think that'd be okay. I think it'd be okay. Would I rather just have a black dial and a black bezel and the fixed case? Probably. But I'd have to see it in person, right? The blue might be something if they fix the case. If they don't fix the case, I don't give a rat's rear end what color they come out with. I wouldn't buy it. Kyle's in the house. I watched the video of the at Dubai Expat calling them 8 years wait. Here comes Bree. Here comes the lovely Bree. Stand by. Okay. Hello. How are you, young lady?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Are you getting ready for a fun weekend?
Yes.
What difference does the weekend make, though? Do you do anything different?
Not really, but it's always
it's been
always
like
the same thing.
it's been like one long weekend, right?
What was that?
It's been like one long weekend with the shutdown and everything. It's almost one day blends into the other, doesn't it?
Yes.
Very similar.
Very similar.
So, okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Have you given any thought to your show that you're working on producing?
Yes, I have.
Are you going to have some like segments to it, or like what are you planning on doing?
Yeah, segments. Like fitness, talking about like tips, maybe life tips. I feel like people like lifestyle tips.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
And like belly dancing, like techniques, and just having a good time.
And maybe like a hooping section too?
Oh, yes, hooping.
Yeah, see, I think that'll be good if you break the show into segments, like 10-minute segments or whatever. And then that way people can know kind of what to expect when they tune in, right?
Right.
And you might even have a section about like news where you talk about the different subjects that you cover and anything that's in the news, relating to that.
Sure.
And one way you can prep that is you do a Google search, and then you click on news, and then you can filter by like the last week, right? And you
Or
can,
like trending news.
yeah, and then you can pull up things that are relevant to your subject and have those ready to talk about them.
And I can have it on my dashboard, my YouTube dashboard, and say that, Mondays I'm going to talk about this, or, Wednesdays I'm going to talk about fitness, things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
All right.
yeah.
All right. So have you learned anything more about Bitcoin?
Not really.
Okay, but are you?
I know that my interest is going up.
You're following some of the people on Twitter too, though, right?
Yeah.
Some of the smart people. Okay.
Yes.
Good. And you're accumulating Bitcoin, right? You're
Yes.
accumulating.
Never selling, never trading, always buying or getting.
See, it takes a lot of people, it takes them a couple of years to learn what you've already learned. A lot of them need to get wrecked, like trading, where they lose a bunch of money, and then
Right.
they learn not to trade, right? They get burned a couple times, and they lose their Bitcoin, and then they finally learn that, uh-oh, this isn't working right, and then they stop trading. But you never even started trading.
Right.
You
No.
said I'm just going to skip that whole deal, right?
And skip the altcoins as well.
There you go. Smart lady. Okay, let's catch up on these comments here. Let's see. Okay, if you can join your wait list for the GMT Pepsi in case you get it, I would be very happy. Yeah, well, I'm on the list, so I will let you know. Supposedly I'm on the list, but again, I'm not sure that they do it that way, but we'll see. When we go visit them, we'll see where we stand. Let's see. I wish there was a network of anti-scalpers that would buy watches and resell them to people who want them, even if it's for a nominal fee for the trouble. Okay. And Kyle says, I'm on the list for the Batgirl. We'll see. They said it won't be too long. Okay. And Cheetown says, Craig, this is the new luxury model. Dangle something fancy in front of someone's face and then tell them, too bad, you can't have it, even if you had the cash in your pocket right now. Yeah, that's right. Tempt them and then pull it away. Do the takeaway. They call that the takeaway. Leon's in the house. You will be able to get the GS GMT quicker than the Rolex GMT. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because the Grand Seikos are still a well-kept secret. A lot of people don't know about Grand Seikos. So, yeah, they don't advertise aggressively like Rolex does. Kyle's in the house, the Dubai Expat. Absolutely, it was a fun video. And Kevin says, it's been a weekend since March. Yeah, one long weekend. Carlos says, Bree, imagine you are boarding an Uber car and you realize that Joe Biden is the driver. Would you feel safe? You know who Joe Biden is, Bree?
I forget.
Joe Biden,
Like the
he's
president?
running for president. He's the
running for
Democrat running for president. Would you feel safe if he was driving you in an Uber?
Not really.
Yeah, good answer. Because
I would choose.
he's
I
not
would
really.
choose someone that I know personally.
Also, he's kind of out of it a little bit. He's kind of like losing his mind. He's senile. So that may not end well, right? Let's see here. Kyle says, Craig, what does your dad think of Joe Biden? I don't think he thinks much of him. Mark's in the house. Craig, did you ride your Segway in the mall like Paul Blart? I don't know who that is. No, I didn't. I didn't bring my Segway. I don't think they let you in the Montgomery Mall anyway. Kyle's in the house. When did you get on the list, Craig? Oh, geez, like a year ago? I don't know. Deport TGV, Craig, what's more practical, a truck or a van? Well, it depends on what you're doing. I mean, if you're hauling a lot of gear around and stuff like that, a van, but you could get a truck and put a cap on the back, like a pickup, put a cap on it, and then you could still lock your stuff in the back. So either one would probably work. Let's see. The Dubai expat Craig, I'm thinking about buying a Hublot Classic Fashion. What do you think? I'd pass on that. Bree, what do you think about Hublot Classic Fusion 42 millimeter green? Bree goes upscale. She doesn't. Yeah, she's not gonna go for the no name watches, right, Bree?
Right.
You go Rolex, Grand Seiko, maybe Omega, maybe Patek Philippe. That's probably about it for Bree. Upscale. Cheetown's in the house. This issue with Rolex is investors have hijacked the brand from the true enthusiasts, so the likelihood of a tight-knit community of people who will sell at fair market prices is unlikely until the market crashes and all those investors start panic selling, and that's when you want to have your money ready. Deport TGV says Biden would keep getting lost and might crash. Cheetown says Uncle Joe would probably try to smell your hair, Bree, so watch out. And her hair does smell nice, so yeah, he's known for smelling hair.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so he's got issues. Let's see, Aero Advocate Joe is looking for adult diapers in the basement. He'll come out in the spring of 2021. It seems like there's a lot of people in here that don't think much of Joe. Hublot is not a no name, said the Dubai expert. Yeah, I'd pass on Hublot. All right, so let me think. What else? What else before we let you go, lovely Bree?
Nothing else.
Have you worked on any new moves?
I'm trying to work on the chest roll for hoop.
Now, is that hard?
It is hard, but I'm practicing every day, so.
You got to be careful because the hoop can go and like hit things.
It has hit things, and it's hit my lip a little.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. That's the thing with that. Do you think you could demonstrate just a little bit for us, or is it too hard?
The chest thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It might not come out right, but I can try.
Now, what about the fan? Is it going to hit the fan over your head? I see the fans going.
Oh. I don't know.
Yeah, you might not be able to do it here.
I feel like I need a bigger space.
Yeah. Now, you've been doing the isolation, right?
Isolation. I'm getting pretty good at it.
Two-hand?
Two-hand, yes.
Can you demonstrate that? Is there enough room there to demonstrate that?
Sure. Like.
Yeah, wait, move the chair out of the way. Yeah, so we can see better. There we go. Yeah, you're getting better at that.
I have to like squeeze the hoop in order for it to not move much.
Mm-hmm. Now, did they give you some of those tips when you were watching the tutorials?
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting good at that. Absolutely. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. Yeah, and that's good to mix that in.
Yes. Oh, about the Skype video. I posted it on Fit Beauty Life.
Okay.
On Facebook.
Okay.
So
Good.
Anyone can watch it.
You should also make sure that you've got it on the Hooping Live page.
Yes, that one too, and then on my channel.
Okay.
So,
Okay, good. And Bree Fit Dance? You have it on there? The Bree.
Free Fit Dance, yes.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, check out her Skype. She's dancing to the Skype ringtone. Check that one out. And I will show your website also before I wrap up.
All right, thank you.
So thank you for calling in. Hey, wait, hang in there a second. Anybody have any last second questions for Bree? Put them in the chat so that we can make sure, because you know, a couple times you'll leave and then they'll like put a question in. I'm like, my goodness, she was in here. Why didn't you put the question in when she was here?
Yeah.
Right? And like a couple times, as soon as you were gone, I mean, like a second after you're gone, there's like a question in there. And I'm like, oh, well. So we shall see. BreeFitDance.com. BreeFitDance.com. Did you push pretty hard on push-ups? Did you do your push-ups today?
I did.
You pushed?
I pushed, definitely.
Okay.
Always pushing.
And do you feel it some? Like in here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I still get cramps, too, because I'm trying to push more, so I
Good.
still get cramps.
That's how you can tell you're making progress, as you get that soreness. Let's see. Carlos says, I love the look of the SS Hublot Classic with a business suit and on business casual. Yeah, better just go with the 002 for that, Carlos. The Dubai Expat. Bree, please check a pic of the Hubo and tell me again if you like it. Check email. Okay, let's pull up the email. Give me a second here. I'm going to pull it up while Bree's in here. This is tricky to do, but I can do it. I can do it. This better be good if you're asking for the lovely Brianna's opinion on it. It better be good. Okay. Bree, you probably can't see it. You can't see it.
I'm on my phone right now.
So it's going to come up in about probably 10 or 20 seconds because there's a delay.
Yeah, no, look at it.
And then you'll be able to see it. And I'll give you my opinion after you give your opinion because I don't want to sway you.
Okay.
So we'll wait. Let's see.
Oh, I see it now.
The Green 42 Classic. Okay, check your email. Does Bree wear a mask? If so, what kind? You wear a mask like when you go to places that you have to wear a mask, right?
Yeah, I just wear the basic one, but
Okay.
I want a decorated one.
Okay, and
Maybe like a Free Fit Dance one.
yeah. Kyle says, I have a feeling I know what Craig's going to say, and my wife still wears frequently her two-tone Hublot Classic, says Carlos. Okay, can you see it, Bree?
Yeah, I can see it.
What do you think?
I don't think it's as classy as I want it to be, but I can see how someone might like it.
Okay, that's a very diplomatic way of saying that we would pass on this one. First of all, we don't like the screws. We don't like the exposed screws that we can see, and we don't need all that hoopla. Oh, and we don't like the funky shape. We like a nice traditional shape to a watch with nice flows, nice beautiful curves, right? We don't like the sharp edges. And we don't like the way it looks like it's got screws holding the strap together. They just tried too hard. It's like you take a car and you put like funky wheels on it, right? And you just funk it up, and for no reason you include design elements that don't need to be there, type of thing, right? And a lot of these watches do this, and it's just not the way to go. So yeah, we would totally pass on that. Good call, Bree. Good call. You're very, very smart. So, okay, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much for calling in. Anything else before we wrap up?
To check out my website and all my social media links, as
There,
well as Patreon.
there you go. Absolutely. Do it, folks. Do it. Be there or be square. All right. Thanks, Bree.
All right, bye.
All right. The lovely Bree. Just like that. You all were trying to test. You all were trying to test us. And you notice Bree didn't fall for it. She didn't fall for it. Tim says it's a fashion watch. Yeah, for those who are unfashionable. That's right. I would absolutely pass. Might as well wear an Apple Watch. If I'm going to wear something like that, I might as well wear an Apple Watch and have the functionality of an Apple Watch. At least I would have the functionality then. Right? The Apple Watch is a fashion watch. Craig, with all this Nautilus and Royal Oak and overseas mania, what's the matter with a president? See, the Nautilus, Royal Oak, all those. I mean, can you imagine somebody buying any of those watches over a day date? You know, just a straight up 36 mil day date, yellow gold, nothing fancy. Maybe a white dial, maybe a silver dial, maybe a black dial. Just a day date with the president bracelet and call it a day. I mean, can you imagine? Somebody can have that, and instead they're going to get like a Nautilus or a Royal Oak. I don't know what they're thinking. Life is too short to make those kind of choices, folks. And Cheetown says, thanks, Bree. I will go for the day date, Cheetown. You're welcome and thank you, says Bree. What do you think of the Omega Speedmaster? Yeah, I'm not a Speedmaster fan. I think that they are not that well made. And again, I don't really have a need for a chronograph function, so I would kind of pass on that. I would rather get like a nice Seamaster 300, one of the ones that's a little bit thinner. Some of their models are a little thick, so I'd kind of do that, and I think that'd be a better move. Craig, you promised to report on the Rolex AD. I did it earlier today. I talked about the AD extensively. You've got to tune in on time, Derek. You've got to tune in on time or hit the rewind button. The rewind button. We're streaming at 6.59 megabits per second. Whoa. That's pretty wild. It's fluctuating though, but that's pretty wild. That's a high bit rate. Let's see here. G-Town President wearers include Pablo Escobar, LBJ, Tony Soprano, and Don Rickles. Oh, Don Rickles wore one? Cool. Absolutely. The Port TGV. Craig, did you ever rock long hair or an afro in the 70s? Not an afro, but my hair was longer when I had more hair. It was longer for a while. Let me see if I can pull up a photo. See what I can do here. See what I can do. Not long, but longer. Let me see. I'll see what I can find. Wow. There's 3,700 photos? That doesn't make sense. Let me see if I can find one and then get into the old photo set. Oh, I know what I got to do. I got to go to the albums. Give me a second here. I will resolve this issue. Albums. Here we go. Yeah, there's 20 albums. Okay. So let's see. Craig, old photos. Here we go. I will find it. I have one photo, I believe. Yeah, this is probably about the longest. Let's see if I can make this bigger and you can see it. Probably about the longest. That's probably, I want to say that photo was taken in 1978, 77 maybe. maybe 77, because I think I remember that suit. So that was definitely in the 70s, probably 77, 78-ish. And that's probably about as long as my hair ever was. About right there. So there you go. And that was a Countess Mara tie, by the way. That was like an expensive tie. I remember when I bought that, and it's a little bit wide, a little bit thick, right? And that was a Yves Saint Laurent suit. Back when a Yves Saint Laurent suit was halfway decent, right? Before they sold out their name and everything else. And so yeah, okay. And a matter of fact, that was one of the first decent suits that I bought. I was working at Wheaton Dodge at the time, so it would have been about 77, 78 at the latest, because I left there in 78 to go to Dick Stevens Chevrolet, where I bought the Silver Anniversary Corvette. So yeah, it would have been 77 or 78. And that was the first decent suit I bought, probably. And then I bought a couple of Walter Morton suits after that. Got away from the designer stuff pretty quickly. Sending you a pic of a screenshot. Yellow Gold Day Date is my next and final watch, I hope. Yeah, good move. Good move. You cannot beat a Yellow Gold Day Date. That is a keeper. All right, let's check the email. And there's a screenshot of Don Rickles wearing a Date 8. Date 8. Cool. That's cool. Absolutely. Wonder if it was a gift. Wonder if somebody gifted that to him. How many photos do you have on your camera roll, Craig? Says Leslie. Not a bunch, because I don't use the phone to take a lot of photos. I usually use other cameras, but I might have 100 on there because I don't necessarily go through and delete them very often. So I'm guessing like maybe 100. So there you go. But that's just because it's not my main camera, right? How many do you have on yours? Do tell. I bet you've got a bunch. A bunch. Are you asking because your storage is getting full? Is that why you're asking, Leslie? By the way, I always recommend when you get an iPhone, get a little more space than you think you might need, right? Because you don't want to get to the situation where it's getting too full. That can be kind of a pain. 1977, the 70s, the decade good taste forgot. Now wonder why the 50s nostalgia manifested itself in that decade. Other than music, the 1970s was no bueno. Well, like I say, I went away from the designer stuff very quick. And this, you can see there's a little bit of flair, just a little bit of flair to the bottom of those pants. Not much. And it's still a relatively conservative suit, but I bought, after that suit, I bought a couple of suits, Walter Morton, and then I went to Oxford and others after that were all fairly conservative, because I learned I didn't want to buy stuff that went out of style because, it's expensive. I wanted to wear my clothes until they wore out, till they literally wore out, not until they went out of fashion, right? So that was my game plan, and I've stuck to it. Let's see. Don Rickles has an interesting history with the Jay Leno era Tonight Show. Oh, he was a riot. Absolutely. There's a lot of good videos of him. I saw a lot of that stuff back in the day. I saw him, back in real time, right? Back in the day. He was great. If only Don Rickles were here today to single out and insult the Nautilus wearer in the audience while wearing his Date 8. Oh, that would be funny. That would be funny. Talk about a takedown. Deport TGV, Craig, when you were a car salesman, did you profile people based on what they wore? Not just what they wore, just their overall look and demeanor, and you qualify. It's called qualifying. You try to do your best to qualify. If there's several groups of what they called ups, like customers, like on a Saturday, there'd be a lot of people milling around the lot and all, and looking at different cars, and you could go grab a customer, right? And you wanted to choose wisely, because you might grab the wrong customer, and then the other salesman gets the other one, and he gets the sale, and you don't, right? So part of being successful was absolutely trying to get the customer that's most likely to buy the car and drive out that day with it. We called that a spot delivery, when they took it on the spot. That's what you wanted. You wanted a spot delivery. Let's see. LOL, let's see. Photo number 32. So she's only got 32. Well, that's not that many photos at all, Leslie. You got to get going. You got to take some more photos. G-Town's in the house. Leon, today's generation didn't pay attention to that note about ugly 70s designs, hence the Royal Oak and the Nautilus mania. Craig, where did you go to university? I only went to a couple of years. I got an automotive technologies degree, if you will. Like it was like a program, like a 2-year program at Montgomery College, community college. And then I went briefly to American University, took some classes there briefly. But that's it. That's it. I was mainly working. So, yeah. Let's see, Derek. Craig knew better to waste money on that. Yeah, I didn't spend much money on any of that. Yeah. Leslie's in the house. Craig, do you have pets? No, I don't. No, I don't. I got all of my internet friends. That's all I need. That's all I need for entertainment. Let's see here. Craig, you don't need to worry about trendy clothing going out of fashion. It will fall apart long before that ever happens. Good point. If you buy junk, it's not going to hold up. Jeepu's in the house. Craig, would you try to get potential buyers to finance their car, or was cash still king? And no. We would absolutely try to. What you did was you got the deal. You made out a purchase order and all, and they signed and they gave you a deposit, preferably some cash money, right? And then you got it approved by the manager. And then you introduced him to the F&I manager. And the F&I manager tried to sell him all kinds of stuff. Tried to sell him financing, tried to sell him an extended warranty, tried to sell them insurance, F&I insurance, all kinds of crap, right? And there was all profit in all of that. And the salesman got a cut of all of that. So they had a professional F&I manager who his job was to take care of what they called the back end of the deal. So they would talk people out of paying cash if people were trying to pay cash, right? They would say, hey, use your cash for something else. Put a pool in the backyard, finance it. We got great rates and all that, blah, 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 blah. And they'd talk them into financing it, even if they didn't want to. That was how that whole thing worked. Let's see. Anybody that buys an AP Royal Oak is an idiot. And by the way, if you're going to buy a car, you're better off not telling them that you're paying cash in the beginning. Because if they think they're going to make money on the back end, they might give you a better deal on the front end. And then you can always change your mind when you get back in the finance department when they quote you the rates and all that. You can say, well, no, I'll go ahead and pay cash, right? And then by then, they've already given you the good deal on the front end, right? So sometimes that works. Anybody that buys an AP Royal Oak is an idiot and has no taste. Good point. Cheetown's in the house. Craig, you should have gotten a PhD in left-handed puppetry, critical theory. Yeah, that's right. You could have been earning a princely 30K a year as a blogger today. Good point. University did not used to be a waste of money, more so these days. Indoctrination institutions. There you go. Jaden says the Wrench Gang is cheap entertainment. It depends on, here's the thing. If you go and you get a law degree, right, you can monetize that. If you go get a medical degree, right, you can monetize that. So some degrees are absolutely worth it, but I wasn't going to go through all of that. Let's see. Leon, I won't call someone who owns a Royal Oak an idiot, but owning one nowadays says nothing about your taste in watches. The FU manager. There you go. Good night, boys, Craig and Steve. Hey, Scott's in the house. I'm saying about my Tudor, it's less money. Yeah, I would pass on Tudor. Leon says, I financed my Hyundai and got all the discounts from Hyundai and paid a super low price on the car. A month later, I paid the car off with cash, and I had already earmarked for the car. Well, there you go. And that also, helps your credit rating because you paid off the loan. So there you go. For those people that care about a credit rating, right, that helps with that. Nowadays, since the president isn't hyped, buying one says more about someone's taste than if they bought a 5711 Nautilus. Yeah, buying a Date 8 is always a good move. Okay, it is 6 o'clock. On the nose. We're going to wrap it up, and I did promise that I would show Bree's website, and I will do that. I keep my word. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let's see. A royal joke is having more money than sense. Craig, would you drive a Tesla? I've driven I have two videos on my channel here. One for when they first came out with the sedan, and Model S or whatever they called it, and then I have a review on the Roadster. The Roadster I liked. I kind of liked the Roadster, but it was really just a converted. Oh boy, what was it based on? Lotus. But that was a fun car to drive. The sedan did not impress me. The seats were uncomfortable. The back seats, were like riding on a buckboard. I mean, it was not. The interior was not that nice. It was just not impressive. I think the Teslas are way overrated. I don't think they're very good cars, and they give a lot. They have a lot of quality control issues. They just don't know how to make cars. It'd be so great if Toyota made an all-electric car, because then it would be done right. So I would pass on Tesla. All right, thanks for watching, folks. Hey, subscribe and go to brieffitdance.com and follow her on all of her platforms.